Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Good morning, John Gray. Good morning, world. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller, and I'm glad to be living today.
Isn't that the truth?
Me
Yes,
too.
absolutely.
Me too. Hey, 4th of July is coming up, folks.
Yes, it is.
Flags everywhere, flags flying. You know, I still have my 4th of July hair, too.
There you listen.
From 1776.
There you go.
And we were involved in that.
I think you should just keep it.
I don't know. I don't
like
know. I've had
Yeah.
several people say that, but I don't know.
I was impressed how you turned that small part into such a really great part.
I don't know. But
Yes,
thank you. I
You
appreciate
did.
that.
I was real proud.
But you know what that was, and because of the 4th of July week we're coming into, I want to say a little bit more about that because that was such an educational thing for me. I really wasn't going to do it, and they needed some help, and I got involved, and it's one of the most enjoyable things that I've done, and I don't know when. And the reason why is I got just a taste, just a touch of the feeling of the magic that had to take place for this country to
And
be
the
founded.
magnitude, yeah.
For this country to be
And
founded.
I'm glad that you shared that with me because things are in such disarray now that it's nice to know they were that way 250 years ago and we survived all
We
that.
survived.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, the thing,
so-
the difference about it then is I didn't realize. I know that all of these gentlemen, and they were all gentlemen, were statesmen sent from their states. It was a very states' rights-oriented situation in that point, and the states were almost sovereign in themselves.
Right.
And they were sent to negotiate this deal, and the states, I didn't realize before how much politics were involved. And there were a lot of politics involved. The only difference is politics was not a profession.
It is today.
Politics is a profession now, which is a huge difference. And back then, all of these people went back to where they came from and went to work.
Yeah, because they were basically volunteers to do what they were doing.
Yeah, it was public service.
Yeah,
Now,
public service.
government is more than 50%, is the largest employer in this nation.
Sure.
And those are the differences right there, and it's incredible. But it was just so much fun to learn about the fights, the underfights, and everything that took place for these flags to be behind us right here.
Exactly.
And thank all of those people and their kinfolks and the revolutionaries that went and fought and shouldn't have won
Sure.
anything.
Right.
And I thought, to switch a little bit, that the musical writers of the music did a great job in conveying what they wanted to convey through their song. I still find myself, and I get a lump in my throat when I hear the song, "Is anybody there? Does anybody care?"
Right.
I really do. I mean, it just takes me away because I'm still asking that today, aren't you?
Right. And that was in one of the thousands of messages that George Washington is sending to the Continental Congress, trying to figure out what to do because he's got a couple thousand men. There's 25,000 troops coming in from England, trained. And he's sending in. Is anybody there? He didn't get any response back.
Once again, it's tough to fight a war on somebody's home soil where they're familiar with everything and they're not, as the Americans proved in that particular.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're sitting up there watching when you're sitting up there watching these ships come in, loaded with some of the best trained military people in the world, and you're looking at a guy with a rifle and a coonskin cap on his head and wearing rags, and he's 18 years old or 88 years old.
Exactly.
And you're going, how in the world are we going to do this?
Anyway.
I find it such a
experience.
novel idea, though, that you go up there and you serve your state or your country in that capacity, as you just spoke about, and then you go back to work like normal people.
Yeah, well, that's what it should be today.
Yeah, how sad is that? Because then you would actually have to think about what are these laws I'm endorsing today? How's that really going to affect these people out there? Well, back then you could find out because you'd have to go back and
you were back in the workforce, and you lived by the regulations that you passed for everybody else to live by.
Right.
Now they're elitist, and they pass something for us, and they get something better.
Yeah.
and ain't good. But we're not going to get off on that. We just want to say we want to thank all the revolutionaries and the people who were involved in giving us this great and wonderful nation where we live, and we want to respect, honor, and thank all of the veterans, our military and our first responders who have stood on that wall ever since then and kept us free and safe.
And
continue to do so today.
You know, along that line, I think today is the 27th of June. Today was when I think the president authorized troops be sent to Korea and ultimately started that entire conflict over there, which a lot of veterans served in. So.
Yeah, so
June 27th.
We have a lot to be thankful for.
We do have a lot to be thankful for. You got any snakes in your pool?
You know, I got one out last week.
Can you tell them apart? Can you tell the difference?
Are you
which
kidding?
ones?
I don't get that close.
You know what you need? You don't have a dog, do you?
No, I have a cat.
You have a cat. What you need to do is, because a lot of people are doing this, get you one of those little pot-bellied pigs for a pet.
Oh, yeah.
Because pigs eat snakes.
Yeah.
You know, Jerry Anderson had the cutest pot-bellied pig, and he had a swimming pool. And that pig would swim in the swimming pool. And a pig grows really fairly rapidly. Well, the poor thing finally drowned in the swimming pool.
Did it?
Because he got as big as this stage.
Oh, my goodness.
They get huge.
Yeah.
Well, get a dwarf pot-bellied pig. Get a baby. Get
Chief
one of
Paul
those.
Blackwell's in the studio today. He's somewhat of an expert on
pigs.
pot-bellied pigs because there are some laws in Tullahoma governing I think how many you can have or something like that. But we talked about that one time a few months back
They are
about pot-bellied
cute.
pigs.
I had a piano student one time that had a pot-bellied pig that he brought to his lesson one time. And that was the cutest pig I ever saw in my life. And he was so cute that I would drive to Manchester every once in a while just to look at that pig. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I used to go to the fair, Coffee County Fair, just to go to the chicken house.
You like chickens?
Well, I didn't realize I did that much until I went. I was filming over there one time, and I went in the chicken house, and I was amazed at how many different types of chickens there are.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them are these little Chinese chickens with feathers down around their feet, and some of them there's one that doesn't have any hair from his neck up. He looks like a vulture chicken.
I don't know what they're called.
That bald head, that's the ugliest thing you've ever seen in your life.
And they have that at the Coffee County Fair?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah,
the
chicken house. And that's the best place to go. And that foghorn and leghorn, he's in there. He stands about this tall.
And a rooster crowing every 10 minutes.
And they're every color in the rainbow. It's just amazing, the chickens.
People need to raise a few chickens.
You learn something every day.
Yeah.
You know, people need to raise a few chickens. They get eggs, and they can have chicken for dinner and whatever.
If you have chicken for dinner, you won't have eggs anymore.
Well, you have to be careful.
There's some science to that, because when I was a kid, my grandmother had chickens, and there's some of them you kill, and some of them you don't. You had that as well.
I did. I had chickens, and my dad forced me to wring the neck of a chicken. Have you ever done that? I would do anything he said, because when he said it, he meant it. He wasn't kidding. So I was out there trying to wring the neck on that chicken, and I couldn't do it. It just wouldn't. Nothing would come off.
Oh my goodness!
This is a horrible thing. I know.
Animal rights activist out there.
Finally, I got an axe.
She was only a kid.
Yeah, finally, I got an axe and cut his head off.
I've seen that too.
Yeah, but I did it. You know,
you talking about torturing a chicken?
It was terrible.
Oh, my goodness.
When I was a kid, we'd go down to South Louisiana, where my daddy was born and raised, and of course they had a couple thousand acres of rice land and ponds and animals and everything, and ducks and geese were everywhere down there, because it's Louisiana. I mean, that's where all these people go to duck hunt,
you had to watch
goose
where you
hunt.
stepped.
And so we would, and Granny Gray informed us that animal fat, like beef fat or pork fat or something like that, a duck system couldn't process it, can't process that. And so if you throw a piece of fat on the ground, they'll eat it up, and within seconds it comes right out the other end. It just goes straight through. So we'd tie a string on a piece of fat and throw it on the ground, and the duck would eat our goose, and it'd come out, and then we'd put a stick on the other end, And so then the next one, and in about 15 minutes, we'd have a train of ducks with one of them's beak up the other one's butt, and a stick on the back end of the back one, and a rope, and we'd lead them around the yard.
Somebody should have locked you up.
Oh,
you know
my
that.
goodness. I think we've hit a new low.
Well, that's what kids did when they were...
We've done this show, and we've hit a new low.
That's what kids did when they were 6 and 8 years old on the farm. Everybody had a duck wagon.
I've never heard of that.
I never heard of a duck wagon.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Dive out of a tree onto a horse's back and ride in Shetland ponies, folks. Let me tell you what. You think they're cute? That's the meanest little son of a gun you've ever been around in your life.
A Shetland?
Yes. Particularly when you dive out of a walnut or a pecan tree onto their back and they don't know you come and they get upset.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Oh, my goodness.
John, how did you make it to adulthood? I
don't know, but I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. Who are you going to be when you grow up?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't made it there yet. I'm still striving to not to make it there.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be an adult. Ed Burr.
I'm really proud of us this morning, though, because we had absolutely nothing going into this show this morning.
We never do.
We never do. It was worse today, I guess, because it's a holiday. But we have almost useless dribbled our way through this opening segment.
We've done good, haven't we?
Yes, we have. I'm proud of us. You know.
Well, with that said, we're going to take a quick commercial break and be back with today's show. Useless dribble done.
Have you ever been involved in one of these? And you need one of these? Then look no further than the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center with a state-of-the-art facility, aluminum capabilities, lifetime paint guarantee, Russell Barnett auto rental, claims assistance from start to finish. We're here to serve you. So stop by and let us show you why we are number one, the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is our segment we refer to as Police Pointers, and appropriately so. Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell is joining us today.
Good morning.
And told me coming up here today, he specifically is not discussing anything about pot-bellied pigs today. And so...
No, the introduction y'all had kind of got me thinking,
would you agree that,
where we're going to go
that we might have hit a new low with that
we
introduction?
Hit a low with that one, and someday in my retirement ceremony you can show that clip. And,
yeah, okay.
But... yes, we hit a low with the pot-bellied pigs.
Okay, well, that's behind us now, so we'll try to act professional.
I don't know. Y'all brought it up today.
I know, and it was rather amusing, I have to say. You know, before we get started, and I know you got an interesting segment today that's quite relevant to the time of the year it is. But you know, last week it was, I guess, we had a couple of Coffee County deputies that were seriously injured in an issue at the Coffee County Courthouse. I guess it was 2 weeks ago, we had some Georgia sheriff's deputies that were killed, actually, in transporting prisoners who were ultimately caught in Tennessee. I just wonder, is there sort of a feeling among law enforcement officers when one of your own, whether he works for your department or not, is injured or killed, that's got to touch everybody, I would
sure,
think.
It does, because we like to think of ourselves as a family. You know, as we've talked before, we're in an occupation that not that very few people have ever experienced the things that we experience. So yes, when someone is assaulted and injured or even killed, because we all know that on any given day it could be us in that same situation.
Yeah, exactly. And you're thinking of those two Coffee County deputies. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They were almost done.
It was almost time to go home and go back to their families. So I don't want to say they did anything wrong. We don't, we obviously don't know everything that occurred.
Sure.
But as a law enforcement officer, you've always got to be thinking that what if game, and we talked about that. What if this occurs? Because every encounter that a law enforcement officer is involved in is an armed encounter. Every single incident is an armed, because the officer has a gun. And in this particular incident, we saw that the bad guy took the officer's gun and used it. So, officers have to always be aware of that. You don't want to be overly defensive, but you still have to be knowledgeable of your surroundings, what's going on, and think about those what ifs. And you can't become complacent. And a lot of these times where officers are injured, it's not because they were complacent. It's just that's how this thing played out.
Right.
And so every day we have to know that it could be your day. And we have said the number one concern for law enforcement is you go home to your family at night safely.
Exactly.
And that's our ultimate goal, is that every day we get through it without somebody getting hurt and going home to their family.
One of those officers was wearing a bulletproof vest, but I would imagine you still can get some injury from that. Could you not, from just the concussion
impact of it. Right. Most times people that have been wearing a vest and they get shot, there's a lot of bruising and abrasions and things of that nature. But again, what's the ulterior result?
Absolutely.
Yes, and
chances are that particular deputy would have been dead if he had not had that.
Very likely. The caliber of handgun that was being used could very well have. Well, we know the other officer that was shot. It was some pretty serious injury there initially.
Sure.
And thankful for the good medical care that he was able to get quickly. Hopefully he'll make a complete recovery.
I would think, and I know it's not the case all the time, but for instance, the two deputies in Georgia, or rather the criminals who shot killed the deputies in Georgia, were ultimately caught in Tennessee, and I'm thinking probably the vast majority of the time they end up getting caught. You just can't.
You can't run forever.
Right.
And there are those instances where you read of the story of someone's been caught after 30-something years on the run.
Yeah.
But those are so isolated.
Absolutely.
The majority of them, sure, they're going to get caught because, they have no means to support themselves, so they're going to commit another crime. And as you commit another crime, the police or the law enforcement is going to get closer and closer to you. So yeah, you're going to get caught.
In the age we live in now, would you say it's a lot easier maybe to identify and catch people because of all the technology?
Oh, certainly.
And because of all the communications that's out there?
Well, I would say let's take this Georgia incident where the two inmates killed the two corrections officers. Those pictures of those inmates were broadcast immediately nationwide.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to make it a whole lot easier for people to help law enforcement catch these guys. Look at all the Amber Alerts. You drive down the highway and there's the message boards saying look out for an XYZ car with license plate ABC. And we're enlisting the public's help, and the public is responding.
Right. Okay.
They know it could be anybody.
Sure.
It could be their family. It could be them.
Right.
So we get a lot of help from the public.
And that's a good thing, I believe.
Certainly.
I believe.
And that's why it's so important that we've talked before about the partnership.
Right.
Is developing that partnership with the community where they feel comfortable letting us know and interacting with us being law enforcement.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, there's going to be a lot of shooting around here in a recreational way coming up this in about a week. So
it's already started.
Yeah, it's
already started.
It's probably illegal to start this early, isn't it?
It is against the ordinance. Yes.
Okay, I thought it might be outside the window.
But yes, the fireworks have already started. The police have already been getting calls on it and having to go out to respond to them. But by city ordinance, you can't really start. You're not allowed to start shooting them until July 1st, which is Saturday.
Right.
And from the hours of 10 in the morning to 10:30 at night. So for this week, it'll be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You can shoot them from 10 in the morning to 10:30 at night. And then actually on the actual day, the 4th of July, you get an extra hour. So 10 in the morning till 11:30 at night. And that's what the ordinance says. So a person could be cited, given a ticket for shooting outside of that window. Now that's not saying that just because the ordinance says you can do it, it's okay. If your neighbor is calling and complaining about all the fireworks, they have a right to be comfortable in their surroundings. So if you're disturbing them, they can still call us and we're still going to come out. And we've got to balance that. We've got to balance, the ordinance says this, but here we've got someone complaining about the noise and everything that goes with it. So the officers have to come out and be a mediator and decide,
which happens a lot.
Oh yeah, we're great at mediating. Well, maybe we're not great at mediating, but we're thrown into the middle of a lot of things that require some mediation.
Right.
And as y'all spoke of earlier, a lot of times one of the big complaints is, hey, my neighbor's shooting their fireworks and all their garbage and debris is landing in my yard.
Right.
And the ordinance is pretty specific about that, that if you're going to shoot your fireworks and you're either going to shoot it from someone's property or it's going to land in their property, you have to have their permission to do that.
Right.
And I think we've all gone out the next morning to find bottle rockets or, the trash in our yard and everything that's come from someone else shooting. So you need to be mindful of that and mindful of your neighbors and clean your stuff up.
I would imagine some of that could be a fire hazard.
Oh, certainly. Well, just think about the bottle rocket that would land on someone's roof, or somewhere else. A pile of leaves, or or you just get someone that wants to be malicious and intentionally go and set off something to cause damage to somebody's property. So we get thrown into a lot of that. Of course, the fire department will respond to some fires that get created. And we at times do, because we carry the fire extinguishers and we can put a little fire out. But, we got to caution people about that. And if you shoot in the middle, a lot of people will get out in a cul-de-sac or a part of the road and the neighborhood will congregate there and fire off all their fireworks. And then you see all the trash that's left in the street.
Right.
That's a violation of our littering ordinance. So you got to clean your mess up.
Right.
Not only because of the law, but that's the right thing to do. Clean your mess up. So the police have to get called to a lot of different things. It could be the fireworks being shot off. It could be the trash left in the yard. It could be the firework residue that's landing in someone else's property. And we have to get out there and balance that.
Is there an age ordinance? What age you can shoot?
You can't buy fireworks under 16.
I see.
Now, there's not anything that really says you can't shoot them. It just says you can't purchase them under 16 years of age.
The prudent thing to do, of course, I imagine, is if you're a parent or an older adult, is don't give them to little kids.
Well, you'd like to say that, but I don't think that we can do that umbrella thing and expect everybody to follow it. You would think that would be the prudent thing is adults, you shoot the fireworks, let the kids watch.
Right.
But we all know how excited the kids get and they want to do it. And, now you have the little things like the sparklers that, those are recommended for the kids because they're generally not going to cause any damage. But anything that has the powder in it that's going to explode, probably should be a responsible adult.
I see.
You notice I said responsible
adult. That's right. That's
yes.
right. You mentioned that July 1st you can start shooting them legally.
Right.
July 1st. Some people will start before.
Well, they've already started.
But and then the last day you can legally shoot them in the city limits
is the 4th.
The 4th.
And that'll be at 11:30 at night.
Okay.
The cutoff.
Which actually is a little later than some night.
And especially since that's a weeknight.
Right.
You know, people are going to have to get up and go to work the next morning, and
right.
You know, so understand that. Now, the vendors, the people that are selling them, they can still stay open on the 5th. Mm-hmm. That's the last day those tents can sell fireworks.
Okay.
You know, and we get asked that oftentimes because they can start selling them on June 20th. Mm-hmm. Okay, why do you have from June 20th to the 1st to let people buy them? Do you not think they're going to sell them? But you know, that's the ordinance. You know, and so that's what we.
Well, there are some advantages and disadvantages of living in the city limits. One obviously advantage is you get police protection in a little tighter knit than you would if you lived in the
quicker response.
In the county, and ambulance and all that sort of thing. Right. But you've also got to try to respect your neighbor.
Yeah. And we hear a lot about complaints about the fireworks at the 4th and January. But, you know, a lot of times we'll hear it for 2 or 3 days and then it's behind you. Mm-hmm. And people know, okay, we got 6 more months till the next activity. And then we'll hear some complaints around the January time frame and give it a couple days and, you know, we move on.
By the way, we've talked about this before, but some areas of on the outside of right at the outskirts of Tullahoma are in Franklin County
or Coffee County.
Yeah. And if you happen to be out on 130, which is I kind of live in that direction, you might hear that going off, but chances are it's in Franklin County and it's not in the city limits of Tullahoma.
Oh yeah, we get a lot of those calls. And there's even portions of Coffee County where the line is, you know, only thing that separates it's a fence.
Yeah.
You know, and people on the Coffee County side will be shooting off their fireworks.
Because it's okay.
It's okay. And then you live 100 yards from them in the city, and
yeah, exactly.
So we're thrown into a lot of those little things. But enjoy the 4th. Just be, as you said, be mindful of your neighbor.
Absolutely. Have fun. Paul will be on duty that night, I'm sure, to be checking that out.
I'll be out and about.
Yeah. Oh, I was just kidding. I thought you'd have a designated person for that.
Well, you know, for our activity that's coming up, the 4th, the fireworks show, it's everybody. All
true.
Hands on deck.
That's
true. And, you know, and then the 4th, with the advent of cell phones, we're always on duty. And I know we're getting that. Come on, roll it. But, I'm always available.
Absolutely. All right, Paul, thank you so much for coming by today.
All right.
Always great information. We appreciate it very much. We'll be right back, folks, with more living right after this.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is the Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you, or at crackerbarrel.com.
A world without breast cancer is a world with more birthdays. And signing up for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will help us get there faster. The American Cancer Society invests in groundbreaking breast cancer research, and we're part of every community. In fact, 1 in 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer turns to us for support. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. Together, we can finish the fight against breast cancer.
Hi, my name is Amelia Marquez, and we welcome you back to the show. I have with me Bunny Hawker-Smith.
Hi, I'm glad to be here today, sweetie.
Absolutely. But I understand that you have a program that is impacting the community with children, and we are so proud to have you on the show. Can you explain that to us just a little bit here?
Well, I spent most of my life working with kids, you know, and so I spent 5 years in the district attorney's office working the child support division, and I spent 8 years administrator for juvenile court in Franklin County, and interacting with human services to help children. And I spent my whole life being a part of children's lives. I mean, I have 3 kids of my own, and I'm proud of them. They've all been successful. They're all professionals, and I want to help other kids. And so I've taught martial arts for 37 years now in the same location. Been very successful and helped many children. I even have district attorneys, I have judges, I have professional football players that came through my martial arts program, and it's just, and they come back today when they see me out in public, and they'll tell me about back when they was in my school, and how much they learned from studying martial arts, and how much it helped them in their career, and to stay positive and to move forward and finish what they start. And so I'm very creative, you know. I reinvent myself all the time because I want to keep things moving. So I created this new program, Boot Camp, and the reason is today, not like it was back in my day. Children, we need to reinstill discipline back into children. I've seen the schools have lost a lot of the respect and a lot of the discipline that was there back when I was in school, which is many years ago. But today we have so much computers, we got these tablets, we let, you know, and parents kind of like buy their kids these computers and tablets and just like want them out of the way. And these children not getting physical fitness. They're not learning the respect and the good morals and the good standards. And I want to instill that back into kids because we need that's back in the school system as well. Our school systems need help, and I hope that these programs like I'm developing will help in many ways in the community, not just at home, but in the community and at school and everywhere else. So I've created this boot camp, and what it is, it's a military, it's an organized, structured program to put discipline and respect, and we teach good values, we teach teamwork, we teach leadership, and I want to get this back into children so they can be successful in life. We want to teach children finish what you start, because in today's society, parents let a child start football, basketball, soccer, and they'll start this and quit. They'll start that and quit. And parents kind of like lets the kid be in control. Mm-hmm. And the traits that the children are learning is that if I don't like something, I can just quit. Well, what's going to happen is later on in life, as they grow up and go to school, a lot of them drop out of college. If they don't like it, they'll quit. They hadn't been taught to stick with it regardless, because at times it's going to get hard and it's going to be a lot of work. But you don't quit. When it gets hard, you push harder. So what I'm trying to do is I don't want to see a kid apply for a job one day and the human resource person looks at it and says, well, this person's had 5 jobs in the last year. Who's going to hire them? Right. Because that's began early in life, mm-hmm. when they was able to quit and not finish what they start. So I started this boot camp program to reinstill discipline back into the children. So it's just the same as military. It's boot camp. They go through an obstacle course, and but now the children know that I love them. They know it's in fun, but the key to it is you can teach a child discipline and respect and good values if you make it fun. See, a child will listen and pay attention if it's fun. So the children know in this program that I've created that I love them, and we're doing this and having fun, and I'm not being mean to them. So when you see, I'm going to show a little clip of this video, but I want people to understand I'm not being mean to these kids. They know that it's all in fun, but they enjoy being disciplined. So the key to success with children is for that child to enjoy being disciplined. You can't, if there's no fun in it, he don't want to hear about respect, and he don't want to hear about morals and standards. He wants to have fun. So if you make it fun, that child will learn. Let's look at a clip.
Absolutely, let's do that.
What we're doing. So here we are. I'm teaching them right here teamwork. They're learning right now how to work together, how to carry their load. Each child has to do his part. You can't rely on the other kids to do yours for you. So we're watching them. We're making sure everybody is carrying their load. And these children are carrying logs on their shoulders. And it takes every one of them to carry it. Here we're teaching them structure. And they're learning, also it's a bully-proof program. We're teaching them how to defend themselves. How to be, see, a bully is feared. A bully wants to bully a child that looks down, who is mean, who talks low, but when you have a child who stick his chest out, look you in the eye, speak loud and clear, have that confidence and that self-esteem, bullies don't bother those kind of kids. They look for the weak. So we're teaching these children not to be weak. We're teaching these children to be mentally and physically strong. So, you know, when you see, like right here, when I'm yelling to this child, he's laughing underneath because he loves it. And he loves the discipline that we're teaching him right here. And, you know, most children, when they get up to be 17, 18 years old, and they get out of high school and they join the military, when they come home, you'll see a different child. When he comes home from boot camp, your child has grown up.
Absolutely, and my son is in it now, and he absolutely loves it. And what I love about what you say is that it actually impacts not just what they have going on, but all aspects of their life.
It does.
You know?
And what is great about it, it's a competitive thing too. You see, if you're just looking at the video, you see these kids, I've created a competitive atmosphere as well. Absolutely. And it makes them work. Anytime you create competition in children, they work way much harder. And so I created a competitive atmosphere in a lot of the things that we do. And I'll put team against team, child against child. And that way the child will put out 100% because he wants to be the best. And so the best way to work with children is to accomplish that, get him to appreciate and enjoy what he's doing, and get him to put out 100%. So if it's fun, he enjoys it, he appreciates it. If it's competitive, he puts out 100%. So I get both physical and mental work, all in the way it's structured. So the military program, I think, is just wonderful. And since I created this program just here lately, I've had 3 other martial arts facilities call me, and they want to follow my program. And they're going to come out next spring. You're going to see it in a lot of schools, because these little military boot camps now is going to pop up in many places. It's kind of like back when I started children's MMA. I was the first in this whole country to create children's MMA. And I will say, I was on every TV station in this whole country, and I did 7 TV shows. I was on Inside Edition. I was on the biggest sports network in Europe. I mean, I became a star in Europe because I was in all their magazines. I was on their TVs. It's because MMA is illegal over in Europe, over in England. So they wanted to get it. They wanted me to come over and be on one of the TV programs with the critics, and me to explain what's good, why it's good, and them, they wanted to argue that it's not. But the thing is, we overcame that. Now children's MMA is about every community there is, and announced legal. Children's competition is legal in California now, and it's starting to be legal in other states. Because people don't understand, it's not the UFC that you see on TV in the cage with the blood and all that stuff. It's not that. I would never do that with children. It's just a discipline program. And once people learn, it's no different than anything else. When something new comes out, critics are going to attack it. And but once it's there and people see that it's a good thing and see the good work that's coming out of it, they accept it. And so I'm doing this with boot camp. I'm going to get a lot of critics out of boot camp too, because they're going to say he's hollering at children, or he's or he's pushing them too hard. People have got to learn. The parents have to be in control, not the child. People come into my gym and they come to my boot camp, sign a kid up in my boot camp, and they say, I can't do anything with him. And I've sat there in my office and looked at a child sitting in a chair controlling the parent. And that's amazing to me that the parent brings them to me for discipline. First of all, discipline starts at home. Now, I want to help and I want to do my part, but when they bring them to me, all I ask is the support of the parent. Together we can accomplish, developing your child. And so I have a lot of parents that come to boot camp and they dress like we do and they run along beside us and they take part in the program, and I love that. So anyway.
Well, I want to say it's always a pleasure to see you, and I see your community impact here with the children. And we thank you very much for tuning in, Bunny.
Well, I enjoyed being here, because you'll see in the future a lot of these little boot camp programs opening up, because it's something new.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we thank you very much, and you guys take care.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good, because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paint Works at 1960 North Washington Street, and you see David Ikonen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Cool off this summer at Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. Free 25-foot slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items are available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 5. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman, and this is
Pat Welch, and we're here with segment number 9, which is going to be fine. With conversations with John and Pat.
I'm the rhymer, Pat.
I'm sorry, excuse me. What do you got on that guitar today, John?
We have a song called "Oh Maud." It's about fishing. When I was young, we had a a creek behind our house, and we spent many, many hours there fishing, swimming in it, and making rafts, building rafts, riding on rafts, and just, I mean, we had the greatest time back there. And I got to say that if I can get through this song with remembering all the words, you know, that's one thing. I think Elvis had that problem too from time to time.
I'm sure. Not that Conway Twitty and
not that we're comparing me with them, but anyway, they've had some trouble too. But this is a wordy little song called "Old Maud." Gonna cut me a cane pole, dig me some worms, make me a hook from a pin. Gonna mosey on back to the fishing hole and try my luck again. Gonna pull out a shoestring and make me a limb line baited with a bumblebee. Gonna catch that big one they call Old Maud down in Caney Creek. Well, Caney Creek runs through our farm, it's not very deep or wide. But that old big one they call Old Maud's found her a place to hide. Gonna make me a bobber from a sewing spool, a stringer out of baling wire. Catch me some crickets in a holler log and put them in a mason jar. Gonna turn up a rock and look for a crawdad, find me a helgie mite. Gonna seine me some minnows through a burlap sack, Old Maud's got an appetite. I sneak up the bank and I see Old Maud swimming in the noonday sun. I throw my line in next to her and watch my bobber run. She nibbled on the minnows and wiggly worms, crickets and helgie mites. Then I caught that pinched her on the nose and I feel Old Maud strike. She stretched my line and she bent my pole as I pulled her to the shade. Then a snap, pop, my cane pole broke and Old Maud swam away. I stood on the bank and I cussed Old Maud, but I made her a promise then. I'll buy me a store-bought rod and reel, and I'll be back again. Mr. Osteen, the principal over at East Junior High School. This jacket back here is an East Junior High jacket. He middle school jacket. Oh, well, that's East Junior High, but we changed. We reorganized and became the middle school. And Mr. Osteen was from Caney Springs, outside of Chapel Hill, and he used to give me information when I was writing that song, a little thing about helgie mites and about this and that. So I just wrote it about Caney Creek. Never fished in Caney Creek before, but I just felt like it belonged in Caney Springs.
Well, you've taken me, John, out to the Caney Creek area on some of our Chapel Hill romps at times.
Yeah, they got rock quarries over there now quite a bit.
Well, it would have been a great place for a rock quarry. I've never seen such a rocky farming area.
Yeah.
Mr. Osteen was tough by necessity. You couldn't farm that farm.
To be able to make a living on a piece of rock, you have to be a pretty good farmer.
Right.
But
was Claude Osteen
the pitcher? He was one of the pitching rotation of the 1965 championship Dodgers.
Right.
And
now they were
Sandy
cousins?
Koufax, they were first cousins.
Okay.
Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale. They lost their first two games. And then Claude, we called him Mudcat. Mudcat was his name. But he won the third game, and then Don Drysdale and Koufax were able to win their next games, and they went on to win the series. But Mr. Osteen, he'd say, Claude, he was our bat boy. He was older than Claude, and Claude was a youngster. And I tell you what, those boys could really play baseball, though, Mr. Osteen and his three brothers.
Mr. Osteen was a really good athlete.
He was a good athlete.
I think I've told you, I went to a Wrestling Hall of Fame banquet for the state of Tennessee one time, and a gentleman was inducted that had some Tullahoma ties. In fact, his son taught art here, Joe Black Hayes. Yeah. And his family, each of the recipients had a table where they had mementos and so forth. And Coach Hayes had a lot of MTSU annuals out, and he helped with football. He was the head coach in wrestling. They had a little wrestling team, I think it was non-scholarship. And but he had the annuals out. Mr. Osteen was a starting guard, and he couldn't have been but about 5'7", could he, John? He was a short man.
He was quick.
Oh,
he was quick.
And he wrestled, and he played baseball. And in the wrestling picture, they had him just in kind of like knickers, with stripped from the waist up.
Yeah.
And he looked like a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
I mean, he was built
I'll tell you a
like
little
Charles
story
Atlas.
about Milner Carden. Milner ran track at MTSU, and they knew each other.
And coached at East.
And Milner sometime would come over to East, and he said, I think I'm just going to whip you today. So he'd jump on Mr. Osteen's back, and Mr. Osteen's glasses would be like this, sideways on his head. But he would come on top, and he'd put Milner down on his back. We don't. Milner's passed away. We shouldn't talk about him this way. But he'd be awful. He'd be awful proud to be mentioned.
That's right.
And we're going to Rotary Day, and we always think about him when we go to Rotary because he was a Rotary member with us.
Right.
But Mr. Osteen was just a grand guy. Oh, talking about Milner Carden, there's a story I'd like to tell you about when they had this year. They had the class of 65. It was last year. They had the class of 65 reunion of Tullahoma High. And Milner and Martha, they came while he was still living back that time. And that had
been when he first, Coach Carden had just been sent to the high school and started a track program.
I'm sure that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably about the time.
Yeah.
He might have, he was. He was at high school, I'm sure, at that
Which
time.
would have followed a great time with him coaching at East.
But he was a coach at East and knew some of these kids as an East coach, and then he knew the West kids, a lot of them. But anyway, Tommy Gillum, my friend, he's told me it's all right to tell this. Tommy Gillum sees Coach Carden at the reunion. He says, "Hello, Coach." He says, "Hello, Tommy. You was the best player I ever had." He's talking about football when he coached at East. Tommy said, "But Coach, I played at West." "That's what I mean, Tommy. You was the best player I ever had." But those are great times, and we're always a pleasure to mention Milner Carden, Mr. Osteen. Fond memories we have of both of them.
Right. I'm looking for a segue to another story, John. I believe I've just hit it. You were talking about East and so forth. At West, towards the end of Coach Carden's time, they had a Bobby Newby had come to, and he was a great baseball player. I think he may play a little minor league baseball, and did a great job at West, and then he went to TPS and had a state championship football team. He went to Dyersburg from there, and then he finished in Warren County. Had some great teams there. But I found a picture of one of his last teams at West, and Kenny Banks was in the bottom row, which makes me think of a story, and I hope we don't get cut off.
We might if you don't hurry.
Well, Kenny and his brother Randy were pretty good roustabouts when they'd been 12, 13 or so, something like that. And their dog came up missing. They lived out on White Oak Street around Highland Baptist. And they was just heartbroken. Searched the neighborhood over on the west side of town for that dog and couldn't find it. But Kenny finally remembered after about a week that Mr. Banks had L.E. Banks, his initials on it, and phone number on the collar. So he thought maybe the pound has picked up our dog. So they called and said, sure enough, the dog was there. Described it and said, yeah, it's here. It said, well, what's it say on the collar? I said, well, it says L.E. Banks and phone number. And he said, well, you never called. And they said, well, we meant to, but if you come down and by the way, you need $21.25 or something, which would have been like $300 in or something. They had to take up mass collections around the neighborhood to bail the dog out. But they got the dog, had a tearful reunion, and came home just really pleased. But as the night went on, they got madder and madder and madder about him taking that dog and holding it, not calling them. So they waited about 1 o'clock in the morning and got a bunch of tools and snuck out of the house and went down to the pound and cut a hole about 3 foot by 3 foot in the chain link wire and said about 50 dogs hit that thing. And I asked Randy, what did the scene look like? He said, well, every dog hit full speed with a big smile on his face. He said, it looked like a scene from a Walt Disney movie. And they both said that we could tell that story, so I guess we're all free.
We're all right.
We better shut her down for segment 9, and it was fine. This is Conversations with John and Pat. We're out.
See ya.
The Animal Shelter has served Tullahoma dogs for nearly 30 years. Now, you can help us build a bigger and better no-kill shelter. Your tax-deductible gift is matched dollar for dollar. So come on, bark it forward and donate now to have your tax-deductible gift matched. Make your check payable to the COT Shelter Building Fund and go to tullahomatn.gov to see all the unique gifts available for your generosity. For more details, you can call City Hall at 455-2648.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh, gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse. You need a claim number? Her personal assistant. Let me just grab a... Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
All right, folks, we're back, and it is, as we said at the beginning of the show, 4th of July week is here, and here this week and next week, and my buddy Winston Brooks, who is the right-hand man of all things good that happen in the city of Tullahoma, is here to spread the joy.
Well, I appreciate that, and I like spreading the joy, and we've got a great event to talk about today. It's the Independence Day regional celebration. It's going to be Monday, July 3rd. Mm-hmm. And it is going to, we are so excited about this event. It is going to be bigger and better than it was last year. We've got an incredible group of sponsors. Our Patriot sponsors this year are Miller Lite, Southern Community Bank, and Budweiser. And then if you go out to our website and look at all the sponsors, I mean, it is really a community event, and we're inviting the entire community on behalf of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen and the region to come out and enjoy this celebration. Just this morning I heard the soundtrack that's about 20 minutes long, so it's this world-class fireworks show. A professional company is going to be about 20 minutes long, and the soundtrack just made my hair stand up.
Oh, and, great.
It starts out with FDR, only thing you have to fear is fear itself.
Right.
And this leads into a lot of great patriotic songs. Gets Kennedy, ask not what you can do for what country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's the 1812 Overture, Born in the USA, and everything in between. So it's going to be it's going to be simulcast on the Duck. We're going to have more fireworks than we had last year, and we want to encourage everyone to come to stake out their place in the baseball stadium, Grider Stadium, because this fireworks show not only has the big high rockets, but it also has what they call the close-up fireworks. So there's going to be a lot of fireworks you'll miss if you don't get down close. Bands start at 3:30, gates open at 3, and we've got so many vendors out there. I wanted to tell you a little bit. Have you heard of any of the vendors that are going to be there?
No, tell us.
We've got approximately 30 vendors that are going to be there, and I'm excited that some of the food vendors are our local restaurants. So we've got 122 West is going to be there, Piggy's Place, Jersey Mike's, Buffalo Wild Wings. And that's just a start. Let me just give you a few more of the...
yeah, you've got that list. Pump them out there.
Maggie Moo's Ice Cream, Legacy Creamery, which does gelato. They're a local company. Frio's, Gourmet Popsicles. Then we're going to have Fresh Squeezed Lemonade, Coffee County Rescue Squad. They're going to be out there cooking hamburgers and the sausage on the bun, bratwurst with onions and peppers.
Right.
So, really anything that you can think of. There's going to be Italian Ice, and then we've got a whole host of other vendors that are going to be out there selling arts and crafts and things. We've got a photographer. arts, like I said, arts and crafts, masters of ceremonies. They're going to be out there with a lot of their games, and they're also going to have a booth. So there's going to be something fun for everyone, including the kids. We've got a huge kids zone, and just learned last night that the Home Depot is going to bring in these woodworking kits. So for free, the kids can come out and
build something.
Run through the slip and slide, get on the fun train,
I love
play
it.
on the park. I mean, it is just going to be a great day to be in Tullahoma.
All right, now, you said something that is different to me, and you talked about Grider Stadium. Will there be seating in the football stadium?
Well, we have signs that are directing everyone over to the main stage, center field of Grider Stadium.
Okay, so this event is happening at Grider Stadium, not at the football stadium.
That's right. Now, everybody is programmed since 1968 to go sit in Wilkins Stadium,
right,
and they're welcome to do that, but the best experience is going to be inside the baseball stadium. Again, because those close-up fireworks, they're not going to get up over the visitor's stand.
Right.
You're also not going to be able to hear the simulcast music that goes along with the fireworks. This is digitally simulcast to music, so when you hear the music talking about a particular color, then that color is going to explode in the sky. I mean, that's how
right,
they are able to do this.
Right.
So you can certainly sit in the football stadium. It's open to the public. Just like normal, but the best experience is going to be from Fraser McEwen Park and the stadium, really inside the stadium. And during the day, the fireworks start at 9, but during the day we're going to have the vendors and the kids zone in the park. All the food vendors will be inside of Grider Stadium and the drink vendors. So yes, you're going to want to come try to get a spot close up.
Okay.
And
sounds like fun to me.
I see a lot of chatter out there on social media that people are going to go to this parking lot and that parking lot, and that's certainly fine. Someone was explaining, it's sort of like the whole city's watching at once, and they can listen to it on the radio at the same time. But we think we're going to have a huge crowd down there, but we don't want to discourage people. Come on down and get down there and see the fireworks and check out what's
happening down there.
Down there, yes.
Yeah.
And the Kiwanis Club. They're going to be announcing their Volunteer of the Year award like they usually do. So you come down and see Sam DiNicola make those announcements.
Right.
And we've got Katie.
Isn't he a great guy?
He's a great guy, man.
Sam is a great guy.
Salt of the earth. And so glad that he can be a part of this. We also have a young woman, Katie Beth McGahee. Mm-hmm. She's going to sing the national anthem.
Very good.
So that'll be fantastic.
She's done that. I've heard her do that. She sang at our police
right.
memorial.
That's right. So again, something for everyone. Want to just encourage folks to come down 3 o'clock. Gates open. And this year, we're going to have a band play after the fireworks. So if you are so inclined to stay late and listen to a Tom Petty tribute band called Wildflowers, it's going to be a great night. And the weather right now, I just checked. They're looking like 20% chance of thunderstorms.
So that's great. So with Miller and Budweiser being prime sponsors on this, I assume they will be adult beverages that can be had
right.
down there.
Exactly. So our Miller Lite, Southern Community Bank, and Budweiser, I mean, they're really the sponsors, the Patriot sponsors,
right.
as we call them, making this happen. And there's going to be adult beverages down there. We're also going to have another new item we're going to have this year is a craft brewer's tent. So there's going to be a tent out on, I guess that would be left field, and with tables and chairs and seating inside there, and you can go in there and try the different craft brews.
Oh.
So, and of course, Old Shed will be a part of that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Man, this just gets better and better.
Well, I think so. And rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
So don't be afraid of a little rain. Come out. Fireworks for sure. If there's a torrential rain and there's wind, I don't know if the bands are going to play, but the fireworks are going to be shut off.
Fireworks are going to happen, rain or shine. And then, I was impressed. I'm impressed with this, what we're doing here in our little town of Tullahoma. But along the same lines, I'm impressed that Nashville, Tennessee will have the biggest fireworks celebration in our nation this year.
That is unbelievable. We're the largest fireworks celebration in southern Middle Tennessee, and the same company that's doing that Nashville show is also managing our fireworks show.
Yeah.
So that's why, again, you want to come down and get close.
Yeah.
This is not something you want to watch from,
from a parking lot.
From a parking lot, right.
Over in front of Chick-fil-A.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, hon. Well, I mean, but you know, it's usually so crowded that that's where people have to get. They can see the fireworks going up.
There's going to be shuttles that are run from Northgate Mall, so you can park at Northgate Mall and ride a shuttle right up to the entrance.
See, that's something that they needed to know. I'm glad we kept you here just a little bit longer.
Absolutely, yes.
So, folks, be part of it. Go out and take part in the great things that are happening in our community. Like we always say, if you're hunting for something to do and can't find it, it's your fault. You're not hunting very hard. We'll be right back.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Good morning, all you wonderful viewers in TV land. Pleasure to be back with you, and thank you, camera gentlemen, for putting a good, sharp, clear, contrasted picture on the screen. And we always like to share a little Tullahoma history with you. Today, I thought I would touch on the beverage industry, and by that I mean where do they get all the beverages in Tullahoma, and where do they come from, and when do they get here? Well, the first known beverage bottling works, as I recall, was the Coca-Cola Bottling Works, whose place was in the middle of the Colony Hazard Cooper law offices on the first floor of that first block on Grundy Street. And they had the bottling, the bottles washing machine below, and they were all bottles, no cans at all. And they were 6 or 8 ounce bottles of Coca-Cola, and that's all they produced. And they had big tanks upstairs where the syrup came down through the ceiling into the bottling machine. And at first they put hand caps on the bottles, and later they put automatic caps on the bottles. And then they built a new plant on the place out there on Wilson Avenue, and next door to Winans, or Winans was next door to them in 1939, and was there for many, many years. And they served all Camp Forest and those places, and they've expanded many, many times. And of cover a great many areas in Middle Tennessee, and they later built a new complex out on Highway 55 between Tullahoma and Manchester, a big complex out there that offered a lot of services. And just around 1940 or 41, a fellow by the name of Ed Travis came to Tullahoma. He was from Macmillan and built the Dr. Pepper bottling works. It's still on East Warren or East Lauderdale Street, and operated the Dr. Pepper plant there for a number of years. It was headquartered in Dallas, Texas, but anyway, he built that and bottled Dr. Pepper for a long time, and Dr. Pepper is being distributed now by the Coca-Cola Company. But anyway, back a number of years ago, where there was a drive-in theater on the left of Highway 55, the Pepsi plant or distribution system came there, and they have been there for a good number of years. And one of the newest and most sought after drinks or beverages is the water. And Sparkles is a place that has Sparkles water, and there on either South Washington or South Polk Street, they built a new distribution center there, and it's real popular. And then the beer industry had no distribution center in Tullahoma for many years, and Mr. Hayes from Chevrolet had, I think they had Pabst Blue Ribbon and Fall City and Gerst and Slits that were some of the real popular brands back then, and they could sell beer in the stores in Tullahoma, but they could not consume any on the premises. Well, of course, that's changed through the years, and now we have 3 large beer distributors here who serve the Middle Tennessee area. And one of them is the big Budweiser distributorship on Washington Street, and the Miller distributor on South Anderson Street, and then there's the Coors. And Coors could not be sold for many years east of Mississippi River, but now it can be sold, and there's a Coors distributorship also on North Washington Street. So there we have it, the different types of cold medicine that is available for, and there's some spirit store around town here that will take part in, there's not distributors for bourbon or anything of that nature, but they do have stores here where they can be obtained. And we thank you for watching, and remember, this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we'll be happy to share it for you. We'll see you next week.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterware.
Yes, Roosterware is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterware specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterware.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
This is an American Red Cross blood donation alert. The Red Cross is experiencing a severe winter blood shortage. There is an emergency need for blood and platelet donors to give now and help save hospital patient lives. Donations are critically needed so that patients can continue to receive the life-saving treatments they need. Resolve to make a difference and help save lives by giving blood or platelets now. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hey, I just felt like I met the nicest new friend. Brandon Taylor from Chevyville with the Fly Arts Center over there is directing this wonderful play, and the name of it is...
The name of the play is The Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
I love that you're doing it in July.
Yeah, it's a nice little Christmas in July type of feel, so we enjoy it.
When does that come on?
It opens July 14th. There are only 2 performances.
Okay.
It opens July 14th.
Is that Saturday?
That's a Friday.
Friday,
and then
okay.
it's also 15th on Saturday.
Okay.
Both at 7 o'clock. Tickets are selling fast, I got to tell you that.
They
are.
Yeah. The Fly Center has a fairly small performing area. I think it's 110, something like that.
108 seats.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It's a thrust theater. It's not a proscenium theater.
Okay.
So.
And that means there's 3 sides.
Yeah, the audience is on 3 sides as opposed to what's here at South Jackson, where the audience is just in one side. Yeah.
And but your tickets are only $7.
Yes, ma'am.
What you told me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, and we put up the information.
Hey, there's the website.
Go to the website.
Check out the website, guys.
Can you buy tickets on the website?
You can.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll have them in your hands, so you don't have to go stand in line. I like that.
Yes. Yes.
And for instance, if you're out there and you want to make a donation, or if you would like to be a sponsor of a show, can they just call that number and somebody will call them back?
Yes, call that number, 931-684-8359. Ask for Sylvia. She's the one that handles all the marketing. So if you want to sponsor, she's your woman.
Okay, call Sylvia. And
yeah.
I know that there are lots of people who are maybe too busy to go, but if you have a little money, it's great to support the performing arts, because the fact that we have a performing arts theater in Chevyville is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
And if you're using about 30 kids for this show?
About 25, 30 kids, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's been a wonderful summer program. I'm assuming you're in full rehearsal right now. You're the director, right?
Yes,
you ought to know.
I'm the director. Well, I'm co-director, co-producer.
Yeah.
My partner is Amanda Underwood. We are...
Amanda's the wife of
Morgan.
Of Morgan. I don't know why that didn't register with me.
Very
active in the theater.
Of course, yeah. We actually had auditions in May, and we've been rehearsing through June, and we've got 3 weeks left, so we're about to start doing full rehearsals and full dress rehearsals. And
is there music in that play?
There will be. Yes, we have a musician. His name is Andy Gibson. He's very good.
Great.
So
you put a little music in there.
Yeah, of course.
It's a fun show. It's been a while since I've seen it, so if I get a chance, I'll pop over there and see it. I know that it's all about Christmas, and there's some funny things happen, right?
Yes, yes. So what happens is that there's this church that's putting on the Christmas pageant, the Nativity story,
right? And
they're putting it on, and the chore or the blessing, depending on how you want to look at it, of producing the pageant has fallen onto a woman named Grace Bradley. And it's her first time doing it. She's never done it before. She's putting it together. And then you've got this side story of the Herdman kids. And the Herdman kids, what the script says, is they are the meanest and nastiest kids in the whole history of the world. And they invite themselves into the pageant.
To get involved.
And the mom, Grace, she's at first terrified, but then she starts connecting with the kids, with these Herdman kids who had honestly never been connected with before.
Yeah.
Because they've always been seen as the town hoodlums, the town bullies.
There's a beautiful story there.
There is.
There's a beautiful story because of the way to hook a lot of kids that are having trouble in school or trouble in life, get them in the theater.
Yeah, get them in the theater, and
that's kind of what happens there. I think,
and really just reach out to them, because what Grace does is that at first she's the only one that accepts the kids,
right?
And she does it because she has to put on a show. But then as the play goes on, we see these relationships start forming, and then by the end of the show, the Herdman kids are transformed, and then so is everyone else who once thought, oh, these Herdman kids could never change. They're so nasty and terrible. By the end of the show, they're like, oh, they're wonderful kids. Yeah. They just need help.
I love the idea of it and how it gets across how important the arts are for the community.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
And the Fly Building in Shelbyville has a season coming up, and if you have it memorized, let's tell people the season.
Yes.
Do you mind?
I do not mind at all.
Okay.
No whatsoever. So we've actually got 6 shows, and when we were talking earlier, I forgot to mention one because we're used to doing 5 shows per season.
But you're going to do 6 this year?
Now we're doing actually 6, and we're stepping out. So in March we are doing. Oh, I've already forgotten.
That's all right.
I've already forgotten. In March we're doing Arsenic and Old Lace. In May, we're doing Fools by Neil Simon. It's one of his, I don't want to say lesser known, but it wasn't made into a TV show. That's the kind of Neil Simon we're talking about. And then in July next year, our children's play will be A Harry Tale. And then also in July, this is what I forgot.
Instead of a fairy tale, a Harry tale.
It's a Harry tale, yes. Well, it's an amalgamation of fairy tale characters all coming together for one.
That sounds like a cute idea.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. And then also in July, this is the one that we've added to the season, a new slot. It's called Murderous Crossing, and it's an interactive dinner theater production.
Those are fun.
So yeah, well, it's the first time we've done it.
So y'all are actually going to set up tables out in the main part of the building?
Yes, ma'am. In the reception hall.
So it won't be on the stage. It'll just be out there.
No, it will not be on the stage. It'll be in the reception hall. Dinner will be going on, and then the show will go on.
That is great.
That's also in July. Fun. Oh yeah, and then in September, something else we're trying new. We are doing The Crucible by Arthur Miller.
That's huge.
That is a huge show. That's a heavy show too.
That's huge.
And the idea we want to have with that is to take it to the high schools of the community, because it's on the high school curriculum.
Right.
And I know one thing when I was in school that helped me was if we were reading something, it was okay to imagine it myself.
And when is that again?
It'll be in September.
In September.
In September of 2018.
2018.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Because I want to investigate that. We don't have a whole lot of more time, but I just want you to know how much I appreciate what's going on in Shelbyville. We do stuff like that over here in Tullahoma.
Yes.
But the fact that we have such a great theater in Shelbyville, Manchester, Tullahoma, we're proud of that. Brandon, I've got to go.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came. Why don't you come back?
Hey.
We'll talk some more about stuff.
I'd love to.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll be back.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Tired of paying for monthly telephone service, expensive long-distance bills, and all those crazy taxes? Are you sick of spending money on telephone equipment, maintenance contracts, and service calls, all for a phone system that shackles you to 100-year-old technology and your desk? Stop it. It's time to ship your phone system to the cloud. What can the cloud do for you? Bring together remote offices, workers, and employees in the field. Make sure that you'll never miss calls by delivering them to multiple devices. Modernize faxing by allowing multiple faxes to be sent and received at once and delivered to email. Get your voicemail messages instantly through email too. And take advantage of an endless supply of customizable features. Host My Calls can deliver the cloud. All of this technology with low upfront costs and not one penny in capital expense. It's time for a phone solution you'll truly love from Host My Calls. Call the number below.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, Peg, we're back. And
yeah, the time goes pretty fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was a great interview you had with Brandon.
Brandon has got a. I love it that young people are involved in the arts. And,
yes,
and pushing
very important.
Through because,
very important because we're getting old and tired.
Absolutely, tell me about it.
We need some help.
I've been up every night writing a country show. I know all about it, but I've got some great help this year.
Good.
With Samantha and Jacqueline and Martha Brooks.
Martha Brooks. So a country show's coming up, folks. So get ready for that.
Greg and Melissa. You know, there's a lot of help.
All the bunch, the stalwarts. But
we wrote some commercials last night.
Be safe out there, folks, on your 4th of July. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. We'll have our reunion show next week, and then we'll be back after that. Come back with all your fingers and toes. Happy 4th of July. Bless those that made it happen.